Greetings! I am Skeletor.
And I am Skele-Tiny.
Oh, brilliant. I haven't even done the intro yet. Why are you here? And what do you want?
You said I could ask some more viewers questions of my own.
Yes, I suppose I did. As entertaining as it is not. Presumably we're committed to this until such time that you've mentioned everybody.
Yes.
Right, go on then. Do a few more if you must.
Look, I'm trying to make the viewers feel valued and appreciated, encourage their engagement, and increase the likelihood that they might share the channel with their minions. Your subscriber count is embarrassing and is completely inconsistent with the quality of the show. The diminishing returns are destroying Monkey Boy's soul, and I'm trying to throw him a bone, albeit indirectly.
Well, it won't work. Hurry up, I'm going for a poo.
Okay, here are some more questions for some of you. Daniel Herring. The production team are thinking of changing your graphic from herring to heron. Do you have a preference? Let us know. Soda Cauldron. We have assigned you a graphic and have chosen Dr. Pepper to represent the soda for reasons you will understand. Is this okay? Stephen Gray. Why did you recommend the book Harvest to Monkey Boy? I read it in one sitting and now I'm terrified. Well done. Zantara. Could you recommend any more good horror films to us? Perhaps some cheesy 80s movies? Or maybe you know of something genuinely frightening. Thanks. Thompson Hereford Farm. Are you a farm? If so, is this your channel? If it is, we like your cows. Nice cows, man. Paul Wilson. Would you consider changing your first name to Philip so that we can assign you a graphic of Wilson Phillips? It's either that or Paul Wilson. What do you think? Let's use this one for now. Retro Toy Guy Sai. We'd like to know if you've ever been electrocuted, and if so, whether or not it was exciting. Cat ASMR. Would you like to draw us another picture? We rather enjoyed the last one you sent.
Right, that's enough. Are there many more left?
Quite a few, yes.
Why do people keep writing to me, the idiots?
Well, it's the entire premise of the show, Skeletor. Besides, your regular contributors are the very backbone of the show.
Nonsense! I am the bone in the back. The spine is entirely me. I'm the main bone. Get out of my sight before I beat you a little bit.
Okay.
Right. Greetings, introduction, title. Let's get on with it so we can all go home. We start with a question from Jojo. Well, 3 questions actually, but they are connected, and I'm only interested in the first one. Jojo asks, when the Pope dies, is he being fired or promoted? Jojo also asks, how do you think he gets into heaven? Is there a stairway? Well, you pose an interesting question, but I'm afraid I do not know. I do know that when the Pope dies, he will begin to go off, like anybody else. I shall allow the Led Zeppelin reference, but I will not linger thereon, and you have only just qualified for this photo of me with wasps for hair. Next. Stephen Gray asks, do you like Madhur Jaffrey, or would you prefer a Twix? Yes, I do like Madhur Jaffrey very much. We go shooting together on the last Friday of every month. Clay pigeons. She's very good at it. I do bloody love a Twix, though. Thanks. Mike Ciccone asks if Skele-Tiny has a theme song and suggests an Elton John parody, Hold Me Closer, Tiny Keldor. Stop it, Mike. Whiplash, take down that photo before I smash everything.
Yes, Skeletor.
Jason Raphael Murdoch asks, ghosts aliens or shadow people? Which would be more interesting to talk about on SkeleTalk? I think aliens would be my preference, but SkeleTalk, despite its name, is not a discussion show. Here's a piano made of bread to assuage your disappointment. Thanks, Jason. General Jones from the Expansion Division asks me to name 3 movies that should never be remade. Well, the original Star Wars trilogy, obviously. If I could have those as one choice, I would also suggest that 2003's cringe fest The Room and 2010's Rubber do not need to be remade. Anything else is fair game, in my opinion. There are several movies I'd like to see remade, but you did not ask me about this, so I need to move on. Thanks, General. Cat ASMR asks, how did you spend New Year, and what's your favourite season? Well, it's weird because I went to bed nice and early on New Year's Eve, and yet, on the morning of New Year's Day, I woke up to find myself beneath the Trafalgar Square Christmas tree, with the skeletal remains of 1980s celebrity horse Shergar entwined in and about my legs. The bones were dressed somewhat like me, and I was covered in greasy prawn crackers. Nearby was a biscuit tin containing tuppences to the value of about £18. There was a large crowd of people looking at me, and some of them were muttering. I took the tuppences to a nearby Sainsbury's, poured them into a Coinstar machine, and exchanged the voucher for a bottle of sherry and 7 Cornish pasties, which were on special offer. As for my favourite season, I think springtime is the best because it's not too hot and there are nice flowers and baby animals about. No, summer. It's nice and hot and bikinis.
Should I put that in the thumbnail, Skeletor?
Yes, Whiplash. I mentioned this for no other reason. No, actually, I think autumn is my favourite season because I like watching plants die, and Halloween is in the fall. No, winter is the best. Nice, cosy fires, and people slipping about and hurting themselves.
Skeletor!
What? Whiplash and spirit of Whiplash and spirit of Whiplash.
You haven't committed to an answer, and have instead listed all of the seasons, leaving us none the wiser.
I know I haven't committed to an answer, and have instead just listed all the seasons, leaving you none the wiser. Whiplash and spirit of Whiplash and spirit of Whiplash. I like not committing to an answer, and instead just listing all the seasons, leaving you none the wiser. The repetition on this channel is the linchpin of its tepid popularity. Get out of my sight so we can wrap this bit up.
Yes, Skeletor.
Thanks, Cat. Have a whole page of script all to yourself. Paul Wilson writes, I am, hypothetically, happily married, but a hypothetical woman on social media keeps messaging me. How would you handle it? Well, let's unpack this. You describe your happy marriage as hypothetical, which suggests that you are not happily married, if married at all. You also seem unsure of the gender of this person contacting you, but I don't know if this is, for you, a sticking point. You say that you wish this behaviour to cease, but I don't believe you. I think instead you secretly hope that I will endorse the pursuit of a sordid escapade. This, of course, I am happy to do. I suggest you determine the domestic address of this person, visit them under the cover of darkness, and smash them like the windows of a council office. Thanks, Paul. HP Bifter has an interesting question in the kiss, marry, kill format. And the options are 1. Would cook a tasty steak. 2. Deserves a good steak. 3. Should be made into steak. And the candidates are Zippy, George, and Bungle. Well, as much as I hate to admit it, that bell-end Bungle would probably cook the best steak, but unfortunately, he would be the only sensible choice to be made into steak. Not only is he a twat, but bear steaks are pretty good. Hippos are delicious, but George is too lovely to eat. As for Zippy, I don't know what he is, or if it would even be safe to eat him. Zippy should cook Bungle and then feed him to George. And no, hippos are not exclusively vegetarian. They are, on occasion, opportunistic omnivores, which is good to know. Thanks, Bifter. K-Dog Broadcasting calls me ossified one, which I very much appreciate. And he asks, which of your minions needs to make a debut appearance, and why is it Trapjaw? Well, sir, Trapjaw has appeared on the channel a few times, but not recently. There are several minions yet to appear, such as Merman, Jitsu, and Clawful, for example. But suitable storylines have not yet been imagined. K-Dog also recommends Megan the Stallion if I want a good plus-size female rapper. I don't want that. Next. Right, we are all wondering what Ben Stutley deems to be an acceptable question this week. Whatever it is, I did of course answer in last week's episode, and my response this week will apply to next week's question, which he has not yet composed. Incidentally, going forward, I shall be referring to this gentleman as Ben, astutely, largely for my own entertainment, and not at all because I have, for 2 years, been pronouncing his surname incorrectly. So, Ben, astutely, writes, having made a dog's dinner of one's life, and subsisting on a dog's breakfast since with, which shore upon said earth might a wretch like me fulfill a furious fervour for flavourful breakfasts, fill said plate, and find further foray amongst the full gamut of one's extemporaneous human hinterland experiences. Yes, fabric care labels can be bought in bulk for garments of any fibre mix. If you need help with the details of the purchase, please contact Monkey Boy in the first instance. I look forward to your question about this next week. The Fly Attractor asks, what should I avoid asking Evil Lynn, and how do I get to the point where she has to call Catra, Tila, She-Ra, the Sorceress, and Chitara to back her up? Well, Fly, my advice would be to avoid asking her any questions. You would be playing with fire. Any attempts to communicate with Evil Lynn are done so entirely at your own risk. Please tread carefully. As for needing any support, she does not. Thanks, Fly. Thompson Hereford Farm asks if I've considered giving my minions their own segments on the show. Well, I have thought about this, but as yet have not carried the thought to completion. If I decide to implement this idea, please rest assured that I will claim it as my own and will give you no credit whatsoever. Your intellectual property is mine. Thank you, Farm. Finally this week, Andrew asks if I managed to complete any of my 2024 resolutions. Maybe. I'll be honest, I don't remember what they were. I do my best to avoid paying attention to anything I say. This gives me plausible deniability at all times and allows me to avoid accountability for my actions or inactions. I know exactly what I'm doing when I say I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. So, it's time to wipe our bums and go about our daily lives. Thank you for the questions, and if there's nothing else, get out of my sight before I beat you.